If you saw my video yesterday, you heard me mention that content is changing just for a little while, just an update, and I would really love and appreciate your input. If you've been following me for any amount of time, then you have seen either my tarot videos or my astrology highlight videos. And if you're also following me and you're just a friend and that's not something you're into, I actually want you to pay attention too because there is something that I want to ask. So let's get into it. Let's do a quick rundown of why things are changing, just really quickly, because some people want to know. If you don't want to know, go ahead and fast forward over to, I'll have it marked somehow in here, if depending on which platform you're watching this on, so you can go look at tarot or astrology updates specifically. But for those of you who are like, why the hell is stuff changing? Here's why. So I work full time as a freelancer, and I have in my early 40s been in the midst of a shift, a change in terms of what I'm choosing to do next with this next iteration of my life, and that requires a lot of time. So, working full time, I have actually been studying astrology on a professional level for a couple of years and have now the opportunity to, in the last year, have studied with two very prominent, really lucky to have studied with and continue studying with these particular astrologers. This is not your pop astrology, right? Like I'm moving in a direction where I'm taking it very, very seriously as I do when I dive into a particular topic. Eventually, I'm sure that coaching and everything that I was doing before will make its way back around in some kind of sense, but that's what I'm doing. And so when I moved and I said, I will start my videos back up for my bi-weekly tarot videos and for the astrology highlight videos sometime in like March, the end of March, and it didn't happen. And for any of you, which I don't have a ton of you right now, but for any of you who were like, oh, I was watching those, what happened? This is what happened. I moved. I had familial obligations, things with my elderly parents, planning and trying to pass. Like there's not like a you don't just get like a green light to go into like the second year of this particular program that I'm in. And so to do that, I needed to be able to study to pass this final, and it's just it's a very time consuming involved process that I'm involved in. And so it's school, it's family, it's the move, it's settling into a new place only temporarily because I'm about to move back to California in a few months as well, and working full time doing freelance work, which is not even my career that I was doing previously, but is like a placeholder while I'm studying something else and studying something else. So, and the second year that I moved into, they kind of warned us about how much time we would need per week to study, to do the work that we were going to do. Well, they weren't kidding. It's many hours. It's like a part time job, and I'm glad to do it. However, the stress of this bearing on me that I need to come back and do things that the business people say you're supposed to do. I just don't have it. I don't have the time. There's personal work that I need to do on a very deep healing level, and we'll talk about that some other time, but like personal work, family work, freelance work, you can hear my kid eating, like also studying, and I graduated into the second year, great, but that requires so much time. And if I want to take this business in the direction that I want to take it in, that means that there's a very real amount of time that I need to dedicate to doing what I want to do. So that's why I am no longer going to be posting as I previously was, and there was an abrupt stop. But here's where you come in. Astrology. Let's talk about it. I was doing astrology highlights. I would love to continue to do that. I find it fascinating and amazing. However, I'm moving into a place where the kinds of videos that I'm going to be able to provide for the time being, just for a little while, are going to be more informative and less about the information that comes from transits and more about what you would like to know that astrology can do for you. So if you have ever wondered about what can astrology tell me, what kinds of questions can it answer, what is the difference between that and tarot, or you're like, I don't even know what to ask, or you have maybe even doubts or the objections to astrology, I would love to hear that too, genuinely, because I want to be able to address it. As a healthy skeptic, I know what I would want to hear. However, I don't know what other people would like to hear. So when it comes to astrological highlights, yes, I may sometimes go ahead and put something forth. However, my focus is on currently doing everything that I need to do that I mentioned in the last section in the background, and also taking some time to address what I think is really important that I wish I would have known as someone who was a fan of astrology, who was interested in it, but had no idea how deep it went. So that's astrology. And I would love to know, if you want to DM me, DM me. If you want to put it in the comments, put it in the comments. Whatever feels the most comfortable for you. I know that I've heard feedback from some people who have DM'd me that they don't want to really be known publicly for someone who's even interested in this. So feel free to message me privately if that feels best. All right, when it comes to tarot, I've done monthlies, I've done bi-weeklies, I have done, I think prematurely, I was doing these cards and cocktails events online. I love cards and cocktails because it's not just collective readings, but it's also whoever shows up, personal readings on the fly. I love that. So here's what I would like to know. If you are a person who has fast forwarded to this point and you are interested in tarot, I would love to know, what are you interested in? What are the questions that you have? Do you want to understand certain things about tarot and what it can answer for you? If I'm not able to actually commit to monthly, bi-weekly videos, are there things that you do want to suggest? I'm very open to hearing what those are. I know that some of you, depending on the platform that you're watching this on, again, on Instagram, I know that I have mostly just friends from years past. On TikTok, as long as it's up, maybe. I have people who are interested in tarot and astrology because that's how I started this space. If you're on YouTube, then I don't imagine that you're following me for any other reason than tarot or astrology. So yeah, whatever medium feels good to you, I'm very curious about what you would like to know. I really would like to, if I'm going to put out a video, take some time to make it meaningful. So that's what I have. That's my update. Those are the requests that I am making, and I would love to hear from you. And I do know from the past that people do like to remain anonymous sometimes, so feel free to be anonymous. And you can hear my cat eating in the background again. Anyways, I look forward to hearing from you and making videos for you that are different for our time.